Welcome everyone to the VGL podcast number 12. With me today, I have, let's introduce ourselves in reverse alphabetical order as per the tradition.
Hello, this is Vertigo Tea Party.
I am Raven.
No, you got it wrong. I think Sai would be next.
Yes,
actually.
I'm not. Yeah, it's different. It's weird, man.
It's different. Yeah. Do you usually have this written down on your hand?
Yeah.
It's different this time because we have a guest today.
You messed this up again.
Okay.
So wait, how about we introduce ourselves normally and then we give special introduction to the guest?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, I like that.
Don't worry
Less
about
thinking
the
on
name.
my part.
Okay.
By that I mean me.
I think we're up to Mad Dragon. Not to spoil anything for the viewers, but go ahead.
Right, I'm my dragon.
Cool. That's to the point. I like that. And I am IceBear. Welcome, everyone.
And we've
And
got a
with us
special
today,
guest with us.
Yes.
Her name is Sai. Sai, tell us about yourself. Plug stuff.
Hello. Well, I'm a tech gaming media person and podcast co-host, and also working in a publisher called Phoenix Online Publishing.
And didn't they make the Gabriel Knight recent one? Recent
Yes.
game? Yeah. That guy,
We work
they
with
have
Activision.
Prince Charming in that. I noticed that from Shrek.
Which
Wait,
podcast?
do you mean the guy that voiced Prince Charming from Shrek, or like the actual?
No, like, his face
Model.
looks
okay.
identical.
Oh, okay.
You guys are hilarious.
We should have added that to the topics of discussion. Damn.
Gabriel Knight's face is totally Prince Charming from Shrek.
So because generally the length of these podcasts is there's kind of a exponential relationship between the number of guests and the amount of time it takes for us to do this. So we've kind of omitted the opening section where we'd usually talk about a game we've been playing recently. So we're moving on to our topics of discussion. Raven, do you want to take it?
Sure. Unfortunately, we'll have to be starting off with something rather tragic. Ralph Baer passed away at 92 years old. He was essentially the father of video games, so that's a real shame. But it's nice that he was able to see what video games have become, because from the very first, Pong thing to what it is now, it's insane.
Yeah, no doubt. Never mind. I was going to give an example. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, VT.
I was gonna say I bet it's incredibly interesting for people like him, especially since he was the start of everything, to see something like that grow to the extreme that it is today, where you're to change screen settings, you basically put up another plastic overlay physically on your television. Between, you want to play tennis? Well, let's put the plastic overlay for tennis on. You want to play bowling? Let's put the plastic overlay for bowling on your television. To the insane options you have now, like telling your Xbox to turn on, and almost realistic level graphics. So I bet it's been incredibly interesting for people like him who've been there since literally the beginning.
Yeah,
definitely.
Certainly hope that he was able to enjoy everything that the game has become, partly because of his involvement. That would be good to know.
So thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, thanks, Ralph.
Yeah. He's a good lad.
Yeah. So are we prepared to move on?
Yeah.
To the next topic? No. So Sony Santa Monica is apparently working on a new God of War game.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally. Yeah, I know, Vertigo, you were tweeting about how they didn't announce anything about it and how you're like, rage, like, rah.
Nice.
It was a failed conference as far as I'm concerned, because there was no new God of War, but apparently they are working on a new one, and people are speculating that it might be a reboot, which probably a good idea because he's killed most of the gods now.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much. Spoiler alert.
But no, it's okay. I've seen extra credits on God of War, I think. So that that's giving away pretty much everything in a very short space of time.
Yeah, it's I love the God of War series. It's definitely, it's not, people compare it to like Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, which I don't. It's kind of a 0.5 version of that because the combat system is not as complex. But I love how completely just over the top it is. I also like the whole Greek mythology angle, and I like how they've taken their own spin on the gods and the various mythological creatures. So I just really like the series overall. Kratos is not really lovable. You're playing somebody who's a total jerk.
I love
And
Kratos when he's like performing the combos because he's so elegant with how he swings those blades of XYZ.
Right, and like it's just so brutal, and I don't know, it just flows really. But the combat just feels really good, and it's challenging, and they do a good mix of like puzzles and combat. And one of the big thing that gets me, especially God of War 3 in the beginning, where you're like climbing on top of Gaia, and she's like this huge thing, and you see the other Titans in the background, and you have that ridiculously epic fight with Poseidon in the beginning. It's just like, oh my god, like the scale, they nail the scale of that game. They really
Definitely,
make it feel like,
definitely.
even though you're a tiny little guy, you're still like really powerful. And like when you fight Kronos, like you're literally like attacking his fingernail. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's just epic to see in action. You're a little guy fighting all these huge monsters and these terrible creatures, and I like the whole upgrade system and all that. And but I've liked the series. I haven't played the newest one, and I haven't played the ones that are on portable. But 1 and 3, I really enjoyed. In fact, God of War 1 was the reason I bought a PS2. But yeah, I'm definitely glad to see more. And there's been a lot of complaints. It's like, well, maybe they should not, make God of War, but maybe they should work on a new IP. And I totally get that. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want to see more God of War. And a reboot, I think, would be fine at this point, because it would be hard to imagine some kind of story like a prequel to the prequel, or what's going to happen at this point, because
Yeah.
There's been so many prequels in God of War.
Kratos,
It's
Killed
insane.
all the gods before he killed all the gods, or
But
he
there's only
killed all the
one
gods
prequel.
after he killed all the gods. So, yeah, I guess
Right.
it doesn't leave much scope for yeah.
Apparently,
Right.
Kratos like gets all these amazing powers constantly and loses them. Like, where do they go?
Yeah, it's just one of the things you kind
Ridiculous.
of overlook with a new game. Like it
Kratos
doesn't make
lets
any
himself
sense.
go between games.
Yeah. Like you
He's
pick
worse
him
than
up
Samus
100 years
Aran.
later, he's just watching TV, eating chips and dip, and
Yeah,
drinking a beer.
Doritos and Mountain Dew cans empty,
Oh, of
scattered
course.
everywhere.
Of course.
But
yeah, I'd love to see a new God of War. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sai, what about you? You didn't have any opinions on that?
I only got to play the very first one so many years ago. I haven't even actually got to run any of the new ones. I do know, however, that it's one of the best sellers on PlayStation 2, I guess.
Yeah,
It
it's
did get to
definitely one
sell
of their
around
main brands
almost
now.
5. Yeah, it's quite known.
I was actually looking at the PlayStation rarity for the trophies of God of War 3, and something I noticed was that the completion rate for God of War 3 was 50%, which I find amazing for the type of game that it is. So not only does it sell well, it's so high quality that people do actually want to finish it. So I think that's good.
Good. So Super Street Fighter V has been announced, and I've got in bold caps underlined here, exclusively on PC, but also on PS4. Which is weird because that is the inversion of the old.
Yeah.
Is that how it was announced, or is that
No,
just
no,
being
it was
announced?
No, definitely not.
I remember seeing an ad for this, like a picture. It was like only on PlayStation 4, and then tiny underneath it is like also on PC. And it's not only on PS4 then, is it?
Oh, if PC counts, then sure,
Oh,
yeah, it's
God.
on that too, but whatever.
Apparently,
And
like
it's got
they
crossplay too.
yeah, the
Yeah.
crossplay. That's cool.
Yeah, that is really cool, and quite unexpected, actually.
Yeah, I have a theory, which I'm not putting a lot of weight in this theory, only enough so that I can say it, and then if it comes true, then I can act smart. And
Yeah,
then if
okay,
it doesn't,
sure.
then
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
and
just
take
blow it
credit
off.
for it.
You're just
Right,
putting like
exactly.
10 cents on a 100-to-1 bet, basically.
Right, and then if it actually comes true, I look smart, and if it doesn't, I can be like, I didn't really think that much into it anyway.
Yeah.
But so they're talking to both, Sony and Microsoft, saying, okay, we're, obviously Street Fighter V going to be on both console and PC. We want crossplay across the board. We want no matter what console or PC you play on, we want crossplay. Microsoft, I think, was like, no, we're not doing crossplay because we're Microsoft. We don't have a reason. We're idiots. And they just wouldn't budge on it. And Sony was like, hey, you know what? Look, we'll do crossplay with PC, no problem. But man, Microsoft, they're such squares, dude. Like, we'll give you this truckload of money. Don't do it on Xbox One. Just do it on PS4 and Xbox. We'll do the cross-platform thing, and it'll be really cool. And then Capcom was like, money. That's something we haven't seen in a while. Yeah.
Ouch.
That's my theory.
So you reckon that Microsoft paid them to not do crossplay on Xbox?
No, Sony is paying. I think
Sony is paying. Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay. That was a bit confusing because I thought, Microsoft is not that stupid. Yeah.
Right. Here's money. Don't make it on our console. Like that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I think Capcom wanted to do crossplay because it's better for the longevity of the game, right? Because
that game is quite strongly centered on there being a community around it. Yeah.
Right. When you lose people to play with, the community dies very, very quickly. It's
something that the director of Final Fantasy XIV was very adamant about, making sure that there was crossplay between PS3, PS4, and PC because they wanted a unified world. And Microsoft was like, no, we're not doing that, and they were like, okay, you're not getting the game.
And Street it is Street Fighter as well, so obviously they're not going to bother with single player. So
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
nice.
The single player is very. I'd say even more than games like Call of Duty. I would say the single player for games like Street Fighter are even less important.
I would agree.
Almost everyone is going to be playing it online. I would think.
Basically, just an extended
online or LAN.
And it seems like Microsoft is the one that seems to be consistently not cross-platform. I could not be thinking of one, but is there? Can you guys think of a single cross-platform game for Xbox?
There's what was it? Lost Planet 2? No, not Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 1 is with PC.
Oh, okay.
There's Shadowrun.
11,
that
Shadowrun
FPS one.
Shadowrun, was that actually cross-platform? Because I thought they were going to, and then the PC players kept beating the crap out of the console players. So I could be misremembering.
That might have been a fantasy of yours, but
I'm pretty sure.
I think Shadowrun specifically. At least
I will do a quick Google check.
He's doing his journalistic research here.
Yes,
but
yes.
It does seem like Sony is more open to the whole cross-platform thing.
Definitely.
I mean, Sony's definitely a lot more friendlier, I'd say, with devs and stuff and other companies for doing stuff like cross-platform and doing.
If I remember correctly, War Thunder is cross-play between PS4 and PC.
Oh.
I was going to say DC Online, but that's not true. They're different servers.
Sai, are you a particularly big fan of Super Street Fighter? Or Street Fighter in any of its forms?
Actually, I'm reading up on the news. I had no idea this was coming out. It's just that it concerns me because it says that they're still in early development. This is so not going to come out next year.
Oh, no.
Is that what they're saying?
Looks amazing, though. Yeah, I'm reading the PlayStation blog right now.
I'm imagining a 2018 release.
Though.
Maybe 2017 at the earliest.
Yeah. Well, how long was it between... I mean, when was 4 first released?
2009?
I feel like the first teasers and stuff for Street Fighter 4, I feel like it was about 2 years after that it was released. Again, this is totally just gut feeling. I could be 100% off, but that's the way it feels like.
But wasn't this project announced earlier, later on 2013? I heard something about it. It was just not confirmed.
Street Fighter 5?
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any, as far as I know, and I don't keep up that much on the fighting games, so it might not be accurate. But my understanding is this is the first inkling of all that officially that was coming out.
Yeah. So before this, Ono has said on Twitter that he's not working on Street Fighter V because he doesn't have the resources for the R&D budget or the team. And he was just going to be working on Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the time being. And that's basically all that's been said about Street Fighter 5. And it really wasn't until Sony came along and gave him the money to make Street Fighter 5 that Street Fighter 5 was created. So that's all that's been said about it.
Is that what he said, or is that what people implied?
No, that's what he said on his Twitter account. I can go find the tweet if you'd like.
That it was maybe going to happen, but they just didn't have the resources for it. But then Sony gave them a bunch of money, and then that basically said, "Oh, okay, well then now it's
The
definitely
bunch of money part is something that I've taken from what he said with
resources, right?"
what Adam Boyes has said to him. There's that little tweet thing. Damn it. There we are. I put a little Yoshi tweet there.
A super tiny link.
Well, yeah, it's because the also on
Sounds like fun,
PS4 thing is tiny, so I can't be bothered changing it.
Oh, nice subscript.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about this statement in particular. I don't have R&D budget and staff who. Wait, what? I don't have R&D budget and
Yeah,
staff.
this
who
tweet
they're
doesn't
just...
make sense. Yeah.
Well, Japanese is default language, so I mean that's
Well,
understandable.
yeah, no,
So,
it's not his fault.
but
that
I see what
it's-
he's saying. It basically saying when he was asked this, which again was July 2013, was
Yeah.
he at the time didn't have the R&D budget to make it happen. Basically, I think my understanding of what happens is people are implying that they weren't going to have the money to make it, and this game wouldn't exist without Sony giving them much money, which I don't really buy into that.
Well,
I
there
think,
was another interview where he said that it wouldn't be made until the 2018. I can find that link if you'd like.
made as in starting production, or
I
made as in
believe so.
finished? Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So wait, what would they plan to do with Street Fighter for the next 5 year or 4 years?
Ultra
then?
super mega complete awesome Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, like they weren't even going to port Street Fighter 4 Ultra to PS4 and all that because they didn't have the budget. So that sort of like helps back up those claims. Because I mean, it's only because of Sony.
And is that the same reasoning then, that they've sort of been off the cash, so that's why it's being ported?
Yeah, I believe so.
That kind of makes sense. Businesses doing things for money.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like that's what they're there to do.
So I guess we can move on to. I mean, we've asked a whole load of questions that we haven't completely answered, but Resident Evil Revelations 2 is coming to Vita. Mad Dragon, you're the only guy who owns one. I think we established that in a previous podcast, didn't we?
Making sure to point that out.
Yeah.
Oh
I
wait,
think that's a tradition.
Sai, do you have a Vita? I mean, it's selling so well, so surely you do.
I wish I had one. No, I don't have any handheld.
Ask Mad Dragon.
I'm surprised that you don't have one actually because it's got all the
I
waifus.
sold all my consoles so many years ago, and I'm
Oh
only
my
on
God.
PC right now. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's okay. The same, except
I
only have
kind of
one
miss
console.
my Wii U though.
Okay.
You PC
Right.
Master Race folks.
Right about that.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
Mad Dragon, how do you
Revelation
feel?
2. I feel really good about this. Well, as well as that, in that statement, there's connected to the Street Fighter 5 announcement. There's Street Fighter 4 Ultra is coming to PS4 because of Sony as well, and Revelations 2 is coming to the Vita thanks to Sony as well. You know, due to their funding and stuff and helping, Capcom bring them over and stuff, which is really kind of good. Still a shame that it's not on Nintendo consoles, though.
Maybe
Resident Evil
Nintendo
Revelations.
needs a third-party relations team. They could have used one back in the GameCube days.
There's no end of occasions where they could have used one.
But yeah, it's really good. Looking forward to it. Definitely going to be getting it on Vita. I wonder though how it's going to be though, because there have been some ports and some like Vita versions which haven't been too good compared to the home console versions. Like, what was it, Assassin's Creed Liberation? I think.
Yeah, but that was
Was
by
that-
Ubisoft. This is by Sony's
Yeah.
actual team. So they've done Injustice, they've done Borderlands 2, and I think the God of War collection.
Yeah,
Well, they
Ubisoft's
helped
ports are a little
put
bit
them,
iffy
yeah.
sometimes. Well, quite often.
Their main games are a bit iffy most of
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
that's true. You can't even, yeah. Good point.
It's good. I mean, Sony seems to be really like pushing to get these like exclusives and ports and stuff, for their
Yeah.
consoles. Like,
And it's not even like Microsoft, the way that they get their exclusives is by refusing to let like other people play with their ball.
Yeah.
The way Sony
yeah.
gets their exclusives is by making it
they
so
like to work with everyone else.
yeah, like they're porting it over, and because of Microsoft's like release date parity clause, that means that they now can't release it on the Xbox One because of that. So they've just, they're
Microsoft.
stupid. Yeah, Microsoft's dumb. Sai, got anything to say about Revelations 2 or Ultra Street Fighter 5 coming to... Ultra Street Fighter 4 coming to PS4?
Yeah, this is a whole different thing we're talking about now with Ultra Street Fighter 4.
May, I guess.
Alright.
Zelda U gameplay shown off.
I think, don't you mean the Zelda Scrolls Hyrule, because it's a 3D. Anyway, sorry, had to get that joke in. Carry on.
I haven't
It's
seen
looking
this
good.
yet, actually.
I'm looking at it now. It looks quite pretty.
It looks really good. I mean, graphically compared to every other previous Zelda, it looks super clean and like really nice.
People
And
are
the scope
saying
of it
that
as well.
you're going to be playing as Zelda, and I would be so down for that. Because the character you're playing as is right-handed, and the only time Link's been right-handed is in Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess. And that's only
on the
because
Wii.
of the Wiimote.
Yeah, that's because most people will be right-handed, so they switched it around. Every other game, Link has been left-handed. Why
Yeah.
is he right-handed on the Wii U version when you're going to be using the gamepad? So that's a pretty good point, yeah.
Yeah, and people have been saying like he looks very feminine and all that, and he's not been seen in his green tunic at all. Something that Skyward Sword was afraid to do, like not put him in his green tunic.
You
How
can't
much
have
of
Link
it?
not in his green tunic.
Well-
That's crazy. What is this?
It seems kind of sad that that's like integral to the character, though. That it's not Link unless he's wearing a green tunic.
But see, I say it's
You'd have
not,
thought
but
there'd be more
Nintendo
to
seems to think it does. They even go
Well,
so far
Nintendo
to
fear
like
change,
retcon
you know
an
that.
entire Zelda game's plot just because he has to wear the green tunic and hat.
Wait, what? What was that? Which game was that?
You know the one with the talking hat? I forget its name.
Minish
By
Cap.
Capcom. Yeah, Minish Cap. Yeah, the entire purpose of the Minish Cap was that, as a tribute to the hat, the hat is a tribute to the Minish Cap. And because Skyward Sword
okay.
takes place before the Minish Cap, he shouldn't have his hat on, but he does.
The
So
whole hat of Link's costume and stuff is a tribute to the Minish Cap. And it's
So-
wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not very clued in on Zelda or Nintendo things in general, but what you're saying is that Link wears a hat that is a tribute to another hat.
Yeah.
well, it's a
Okay.
talking hat.
Oh, okay.
It was like a bird or something. Like some kind
Yeah,
of-
it was weird.
Yeah.
This game is weird.
But yeah, Zelda U looks nice. I don't think it's making
Um,
its 2015 release date.
Yeah, they said it's coming out in 2015.
Yeah, me neither.
Hmm.
I mean, I can't see that happening. But they've also said that before Zelda U comes out, they got the Star Fox Wii U coming out as well, haven't they?
We've seen
It's coming out
we've seen
before-
nothing of
yeah.
that.
But they've said that it's gonna come out before Zelda. How,
That's a good source. We can.
how that's
we can-
gonna work with
that's
that.
Well, no, they
confirmed
say it
now.
in that video, Mad Dragon. Oh, sorry, Ice Bear.
Oh right, okay. I had it on silent because I can't
Alright.
talk and find out about things that are happening at the same time.
Yeah, and then the Majora's Mask I can see releasing the 2015 though. That's gonna be cool.
That's probably already done, isn't it? All they gotta
Most
do is
likely.
just port.
Just polish
Is
it
that
up.
an HD remake or what? Or not a remake, but
Uh,
just a
3D.
HD?
3D
They
remake.
have changed some of the visuals as well, though, haven't they? Like the
Yeah.
moon's
Yeah.
face is supposedly
Well,
scarier now.
It's going to be running on the Ocarina of Time 3D engine and stuff, so it's basically just, tweaking it with the places and the assets and stuff for all the, the engine of that game.
Mm.
And there's gonna
Well, I
be
don't
fishing
know.
spots in that.
Do you think Nintendo will have hung on to all those old assets rather than just, moving on to new things? Or
I
It'd
think
be
they'll
insane not to.
recreate them.
yeah,
'cause
no,
that's
I
what they
was
did with
joking because
Ocarina of
they
Time.
reuse
Okay.
assets constantly.
I was gonna say that would be madness.
Uncharted 4 gameplay has been shown off.
This looks
Ooh.
so cool.
I have
I
not
love
seen
the
this
grappling
yet.
hook.
Neither have I. Time to skim the video.
It definitely
I actually
feels a
didn't watch
bit
this.
more inspired by the newest Tomb Raider with how he's climbing around certain objects and all that. And how it looks like when he
Wasn't
goes
the
in...
latest Tomb Raider inspired by Uncharted?
Yeah, And the
Which was
original
Uncharted.
Uncharted was inspired by Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider,
Oh,
It's kind of feeding off of each other,
yeah.
Okay, this
which
game
I
looks
think
really
is totally
pretty.
fine. I think that's cool that we got two kinds of games. Because that's cool that you did that. I want to kind of do that, and then the
Well, they just-
original's like, hey,
there's
that's cool.
also-
I'm gonna do that.
There's also the evolution of character animations and whatnot to take into consideration as well. So I suppose that they're both going to move towards a sort of slightly more realistic set of animations for climbing,
Right.
which kind of mirrors each other. Sai, have you seen much of Uncharted 4?
Dude Raider, a dude's end. That's the official title.
Yeah.
No, actually, I haven't seen much of that lately.
Oh, okay. When's it slated for release?
2015.
2015.
Holiday
Doesn't say when.
2015.
Holiday
Holiday.
2015.
Oh, as in like a year from now, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Uncharted's
so
my
good.
favorite game series that I've not played.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played a single Uncharted game either, actually. To be
I
fair.
realize that that sounds ridiculous, but I've played Uncharted, the first Uncharted. I played about 2 hours into it, and I was like, wow, I really like this game. Like, this is really fun. And on console games, I'm really bad about finishing them because I have a PC and PC Master Race forever. But so I just kind of get distracted and I never go back. But I really want to go through all of them. And Tomb Raider, I actually replayed the original Tomb Raider, the HD remake or whatever,
Anniversary.
about a year ago. Yeah, around the shortly before the new Tomb Raider came out, and that had been the first time I played it. I was like, wow! I was like, I really like this type of games. I feel like I've missed out on the whole Tomb Raider, Uncharted thing. So I want to go back and catch up on like the Tomb Raiders and the Uncharted. But I'm excited for Uncharted 4, but I really want to play all the others first, just to
Yeah,
Get
you
them
should. It's
under my
actually
belt.
really good. It's really good. I played the first and the second one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
The first and the second ones are great. I could never finish the third one though. I think that's shit.
Yeah, I never could get
Oh.
into it myself. I thought it was just a little bit more of the same.
Yeah,
But all things considered, it's just a good kind of franchise.
definitely.
Yeah, I
This is
definitely
a,
wanna- I had the first one. I just need to play through it.
This is one of those console exclusives that's actually a console exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sony owned
That's a
and
shame.
made.
We'll
The thing
we'll have
with
to experience
this-
it through VGL.
I will.
Mad Dragon, you're recording it. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I know. I watching the gameplay of Uncharted 4 right now. I am so tempted just to go and buy all the games in the series again.
There's really nothing
You sold
that
them?
sells you once you get tempted.
Oh yeah.
Mad
Since I
Dragon
finished, I
buys and
was
sells all the time.
Oh my god.
Games,
But you
that is.
keep Prey and Bulletstorm.
well, yeah. Bulletstorm's worth like £5. There's no point in selling it. It's got no value to sell.
How much was Uncharted worth?
Well, at the time I got, I don't know, like 10 quid back from it, so.
Oh wow, okay.
And what is the current balance of your bank account? Plus details.
Leave that for another day.
Let's not talk about money.
They have to bring out a remastered trilogy for PS4 in this now, though.
I
I was
hope they
actually about to
do.
ask if they had it already because I wasn't sure.
I mean, it would be perfect. They just announce it maybe summer 2015. Here's a trilogy for PS4. They've remastered Last of Us. What else have they done? Have they done other stuff?
Probably.
I don't know. But
They've just done
it
The
would
Last
be
of Us
perfect
so far.
to prep
Okay.
everybody for Uncharted 4, because a lot of people probably are buying a PS4 this gen now, from coming from other consoles like Xbox and stuff, who've never played these games, have they? So it'd be perfect, really.
Oh, this is Naughty Dog as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people who
So wait,
made
is
Jack and
Naughty
Daxter.
Dog owned by Sony?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
since the PS2 days.
Could explain why all of the The Last of Us and this is they're all console exclusive to PS4.
It's
Yeah.
good
Right,
to
I
know
just
that I'm
figured-
not the only one learning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was just a deal where they're Sony just giving them a lot of money, but I didn't realize they actually owned them. Okay.
Yep. I can see
I
an
just thought
Uncharted
they paid their employees. It's-
Yeah, I know.
I can see an Uncharted HD trilogy coming out a few years from now, when the generation's more in its stride and have Bluepoint do it or something like that. I don't see Naughty Dog doing it again because the way that they were commenting about The Last of Us remastered development, they described it as literally hell, and that sounds tough. So
It does
Yeah.
sound tough.
I mean,
Apparently,
working on it
'cause-
again
To
know?
like literally be consigned to the realm of Satan, that's pretty rough. All they wanted to do was develop games.
That is a shame. But yeah,
Now
because
they're
of the
burning
PS3's coding, trying to get it from working on the PS3 to working on the PS4, it was like so much of this code is dedicated just for the PS3, and they've done so many workarounds to try and get it to look as good as it did on the PS3. So, yeah.
Until Dawn, featuring Kairi brackets Hayden Panettiere from Kingdom Hearts.
That was actually a really good demo they showed off because it had a lot of audience interaction. I liked that.
Did
you guys see
squirt
this?
stuff out at them? Did they have guys with squirt guns at the side, or was it a lot more advanced than that?
No, so basically it's a David Cage sort of game, but except not by David Cage. And there's two options. So it's like a choose your adventure book. It's like there's a serial killer coming to get you, what do? Do you fight him? Turn to page 118. Do you run away? Turn to page 256. And the audience would yell like, "Run away! Run away! Fight him! Fight him!" And that was cool.
So that's what an audience sounds like. Thanks for cluing me in on that one.
Yeah, but I liked it.
To be fair, I got to see the world premiere of Until Dawn, and I was not really interested much in it. For some reason, I'm not fond of this kind of gameplay.
You're not a fan of like Dragon's Lair or anything like that?
It's just, I don't know, it just feels so. I mean, the game looks amazing, don't get me wrong, it looks really good, but the fact that you actually have to choose in between one of two options, and that's most of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. There's not that much player agency. It's mostly just, choose your adventure book.
As a facet of the mechanics, it's quite nice, but yeah, like
I just hope that they show more of the game, though. There's got to be more of the game.
There may be a bit where the main character isn't just wearing a towel.
Well, there's multiple characters, and each of them can die, and there's no failure states. So that's something interesting.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's super inspired by Heavy Rain, though. It's crazy.
Like the facial animations and stuff are all very reminiscent of that kind of thing.
And when you like get to walk around, it looks like it's the awkward tank controls from Heavy Rain as well. So, yay.
Yeah. That's the thing as well in these games, is that when you're given some actual like agency, which is basically just moving around and pressing, X on objects and stuff, it doesn't look like it's really been had that much time put into it. It doesn't look nearly as organic as the cutscenes, of course, but yeah, the whole main feature of the game being just making these one or two choices is kind of makes the actual gameplay seem a bit out of place, even though it's what you want.
Well, I'm sure people would like it. I'm sure there's people that enjoy that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, Heavy Rain sold incredibly well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not necessarily it's not a wrong way to approach making games. It's just not everyone's into it.
It's also a cheaper way to make games because if you give the player less choices, that's less sort of QA you have to do and such like that. So there's probably a greater return of investment with these sort of games.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because it seems like it's giving more branching options as far as the narrative goes, but actually in terms of the actions that the players can make, there's an incredibly narrowed spectrum of what they can do.
Yeah.
Well, with the game, it's a lot of eye candy, though. I remember seeing the trailer, and it was, the lightning, the animation, it was amazing. It was just so beautiful. But, yeah.
But that's until they scale back the graphics for the console release, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's definitely the type of game I would watch somebody else stream or do a let's play of on YouTube. But I don't really get into the whole horror games either. Like it kind of loses this because I don't really get scared in most of those types of games. So it kind of loses the entire point. Like I wasn't really interested in Evil Within and that kind of thing. But I'll watch other people play them. But
yeah, definitely. These sort of games help themselves. These sort of games are geared toward that sort of audience, I feel. Like IceBear, didn't you watch all of Beyond Two Souls like that?
Yeah, I watched Geek Remix's Beyond Two Souls because I was kind of curious about the game, but didn't really want to play it. Well, there was no chance that I was going to play it really, but Yeah, no, it was interesting to watch from their perspective because then you've got the added thing of like there's other people doing it and rationalizing their choices for it, which is the only thing that I can really get into, to be honest. Because like the thing is, that kind of thing is that you're not really allowed to absorb into the role much because you're kind of a party to the story rather than part of it yourself. Yeah, and
Yeah, I
maybe
think that's
maybe it's,
basically it. Especially when it comes to a horror game, there's got to be a lot of, I think the idea of participating into the story more so into just, having one choice, I think is what makes a horror game.
yeah,
At least to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like this is just an aside, but I quite like the fact that when you look at the PS4 trailer of Until Dawn, you also have a cheeky little 24 minutes of Until Dawn gameplay by IGN, which is 23 minutes and 42 seconds long. Do they really need to inflate every number they assign things? I guess it's the old rounding up rule. They can't shake it. Anyway, the Banner Saga 2 has been announced.
Aren't you really interested in the Banner Saga?
No, I don't. I have not played the Banner
Seems like
Saga.
the sort of game you'd like.
I imagine I would, yeah. I'm delighted to hear that they haven't been bankrupted by King Games or anything like that. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it, but I've been wanting to play it. But the graphic style, I really like the graphical style. But I just haven't.
Yeah, it's
had a
absolutely
chance to play it
gorgeous.
It's like an
Yeah, it
old
is.
Disney movie. It's great. Back when they did 2D animation.
Yeah.
So wait, has anybody here actually played Banner Saga 1?
Nope.
No, I keep
We're all-
meaning to
we're
buy
all
it, and then I see that it's turn-based.
People say it's
I
like a
get-
really good book, kind of like.
Right. Yeah, I've
I
heard
mean,
good
the
things
story
about
is.
it. So.
Yeah.
But if we had all played it, we probably would be more excited for Banner Saga 2.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like Shadowrun Returns with me, I guess. It's like one of those games that everybody thought was really good and I would probably really like, and I still haven't played.
So here's a question, maybe somebody knows here. I thought the whole Banner Saga thing was going to be like episodic content. Is that not the case, or did they already finish up all the episodes, or was Banner Saga just its own big thing altogether?
I think it was just one game, wasn't it?
It
Oh,
is one
okay.
game, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just one.
I could check.
So, just to check, there's no King Games aren't going to make an announcement of Candy Crush 2 at the same time and then start legal proceedings, are they?
Apparently, it shouldn't matter. I'm reading this article saying the Banner Saga development will continue despite King's intervention. Stoic vows. Yay.
So, that doesn't mean it should. Well, it kind of sounds like. Okay, never mind. It kind of sounds like it's still a threat on the horizon, but okay. We'll try and overlook it.
So whatever happened with the legal status in this, I kind of lost track of the whole
Yeah, so did I. It went
situation. Yeah, I remember reading when it first happened because it was somewhat ridiculous to read, but eventually it just went quiet, the whole situation. I don't even know what happened in the end.
I know King Games decided to withdraw proceedings against some party or other, but I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I think they backed off. That's my understanding. I think they backed off. But anyway, so I guess we're done with Banner Saga, and IceBear has muted himself. So, severed gameplay
I'm back.
by the creators of
I was just
Guacamelee.
checking to see. It says there's a Polygon article from April this year that says Candy Crush Maker King settles trademark disputes with the Banner Saga developer. So, as far as I understand, that's dead and buried.
Okay, well that's good.
They've enables both. They come to an agreement which enables both parties to protect their respective trademarks now and in the future.
Oh, okay. So I'm reading the Steam community forums, which is always truthful and honest and correct, and they said that it
and
is
a little bit chaotic.
It is episodic / chapter based, and the Banner Saga 1 is a full-fledged game, they say, but there will be it's a 3-part sort of game, so the next chapter will be Banner Saga 2 and such.
So not really.
Yeah, so it's
So when they're saying episodic, they mean you're gonna have to buy the next game to keep finding out more about the story.
yeah.
Well, that's the same
It's
as
basically
every
just
other
a
game.
trilogy
So
of
it's
games.
not at all episodic, basically.
Yeah.
It's episodic
Yeah.
in the sense that every other game series is.
It's like saying The
I
Walking
really
Dead
don't know
season
why
1 and 2.
indies decide to go this route sometimes, because episodic does not mean it's easier for them when it comes to production. I remember when we tried this on Phoenix, it was actually much more of a cost of development and production and publishing when it comes to releasing individual chapters and individual builds. Especially with something like this, it's a lot of production in between, and every single time you launch something, you're actually going to have to put a lot of effort into this, like PR, the promotion, the distribution platform, all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of money, and I don't know. This is just a personal idea to me, because I still don't know why indies choose episodic so much.
Maybe they just don't do the right research, and they think, oh, well, if we do episodic, then we can get this stuff out in 4 months, and then we can start making money so that we can keep a house over a roof
Yeah,
over our
that,
head.
It could
And then
be
you can work
that's
on
so not
episode
how it
2.
works.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's only their perception of how it works.
Yeah. It could
Yeah,
even
looking
be
from the
as
outside
simple
in, it
as-
looks a lot easier. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
release the first bit of the game, then you get feedback, and then the game will be even better, and we'll have Game of the Year, and everyone will love us, just like they do Telltale,
Yeah.
and we'll make a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's the thing, is everybody's looking at Telltale
Yeah,
as their
the
example
problem
for
with
how it
Telltale
works as
is
well.
that they do the whole thing and then they separate it before the launch. It's just a lot of it's a different business platform that it works for them, basically, because they actually have the production, I don't
Wait,
know, budget, basically, to be able to crop it like that and pay like a one-time thing when they do the publishing. Trust me, it's just when it comes to actually doing this whole business platform, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time, especially because
Yeah.
just even a press kit is something that is going to be twice as much, or I don't know how many episodes you want, that is going to be just as expensive.
Yeah, and there's also this sort of on like your side, I imagine like there's a lot of like hesitancy from the press to even cover it when it's not fully released. Like you have to be
That's
Telltale.
something that dims down a lot,
That's true,
especially
yeah.
when you're actually like, when we did basically the publishing for Cognition, we actually had a lot of, I had to work twice as hard from the episode 3rd and on, and it's complicated, trust me, people actually just get tired of reading the same thing. So basically you actually end up spending more with each chapter.
Yeah.
So why do you think Telltale does it that way?
It's different for them. They actually have, that's my dogs barking at the background, sorry. It's
That's
different
fine.
for them because they do have the budget, they do have the money.
Yeah, they have like
So it's basically
210 people or something like that over there.
Yes, I mean, Telltale,
And they put
compared
it to
a small
fucking
indie,
everything. Like I can't
guess they
think
can.
it's insane.
Well, there's no
yeah,
input
they
that's
do
going to
have
be
a big
inappropriate for
marketing
it.
team too.
Mm.
That also helps.
Yeah, that's true. By now they're sort of more than
When you have
capable
an
of
indie
standing on
team,
their 2
you
feet.
only have probably like development and programming, and that's about it. You
Yeah.
rarely ever have like business people into this kind of teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. It's twice as much the work.
Mm.
Yeah, because I mean, like Telltale's games, they always sort of I see them sort of being grouped in with like other indie titles, and I'm not sure why, because they're a big company. Like they're bigger than other big AAA studios like Sucker Punch or Ready at Dawn, stuff like that. Like these games that they're making like these graphical showcases for the PlayStation 4, and like people would never put Telltale alongside them, but Telltale's actually way bigger. It's
Yeah,
insane.
and they still do a lot via kind of like an indie feel. That's how they market themselves. No, I mean, it's just completely different. It's just impossible for you to compare a 3-man studio with a corporation or a company just like Telltale. I mean, you do have a large bunch of people that are actually going to be able to keep on the production. It's just, that sometimes it's that they just separate everything in order to actually make some sort of like a different publishing pipeline and to make a whole different business model that is going to, for them it works because they already have everything done by the time they actually do the launch. So it's just completely different than it will be for an indie, for example, because you do the launch and you still have production costs. So it's not something that is going to benefit you in the end. So when I
Yeah.
hear sometimes indies that they have like a 5 chapter project or something like that, it's just try to keep it up to like 3. Don't go overboard.
And Telltale,
Because it
Six.
like
takes
their
time
engine's
and it
already
takes so
being
much
made,
money.
so they don't even need to make that or anything like that. Whereas indies also do have to do that, and there's a lot of unseen problems, and yeah, development's pretty difficult.
Yeah,
Development,
it's not
publishing.
easy. I do believe that they probably make it much more complicated for them when they actually crop it on chapters like that. I remember we also had a lot of like criticism based on the fact that we decided to crop cognition into episodes as well. Some media, not the States was actually pretty open-minded and kind of one of the best niche that we've got for publishing, but other countries they were less than forgiving about the whole episodic format.
Yeah. The only problem I've had with like cognition being episodic, I've not played the game, so this is just outside looking in and such, is that I've noticed like some bundle sites will only have like episode 3 or just episode 2, and like episode 1 will be impossible to find, and it's like where is it?
We actually do a lot of bundles for that
Yeah.
reason alone. Actually, this year I think we had every single one of our games in bundles, and yeah.
Is someone at the door?
Yeah, this is why weekends is usually a bad idea for me to record anything. Everybody decides to stop by, the dogs decide to be loud.
That's
I'm
fun.
sorry.
No, we have we have a whole array of sound effects that usually accompany our things anyway. Severed is a game that's being released by the devs of Guacamelee.
I am so glad they're just not going to be continuing to re-release Guacamelee, because as much as I love Guacamelee, and I do love Guacamelee, it is a fantastic little 2D, sort of plays like a Devil May Cry Bayonetta, but 2D, but with less emphasis on style and all that. But as much as I love it, the fact that they re-released it and then re-released it and then just like, no, stop re-releasing Guacamelee, make a new game, please. I love you, but
Hey, we're
new games.
Drinkbox. You remember Guacamelee? You like that, right? Get it again.
They even started to take the piss out of themselves with the Super Turbo Ultimate Championship Edition Deluxe, or whatever it's called, for the newest PS4, Xbox One, and so on version. They realized that they were like releasing a lot of versions of Guacamelee, but I'm glad they're making
I
a
haven't
new
seen
game.
much of this new game, but from what I read recently, it's an RPG.
It's a dungeon
looks
crawler, first-person dungeon crawler, sort of like Legend of Grimrock.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Oh.
So you like,
Because I'm looking at the
seems interesting.
gameplay thing and I didn't realize that this was the case.
yeah, it's you gotta slice off your enemy's hands, and you gotta use like the touchscreen on like the Vita or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say this kind of looks like an iPad game in many respects, or like the sort of game that would be ported to that.
I can
quite
definitely
readily.
see it coming to the iPad.
Yeah, like touchscreen. This is going to be like quite a touchscreen oriented game, by the looks.
Oh yeah, it's coming out on mobile platforms sometime in 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
Only mobile platforms, or
And
obviously.
Yeah,
also the
it's-
Vita.
Vita.
It's on
I
PlayStation.
just looked and it says
Yeah.
that it's only going to be in Vita. That makes me a sad panda.
It could be one of
Why?
those fake exclusives.
Why?
Yeah, yeah. It's also
It
coming
could
out
be the
on.
thing that finally gets you to get a Vita.
It's also coming out on like iPad and iPhone, I believe.
What is this peer pressure? I was not invited for this.
I wanted
Vita is
everybody else to
live.
get a Vita but me, so they can tell me what it's like.
No, trust me. I mean, it's been hard for me to give up my consoles, and I regret it every single day. And it's just because I actually had to move. I had a big move, so I had to sell absolutely everything. I could not take my Xbox or my PS3 or anything with me, so it hurt. Trust me, it hurt so much.
Kept
get
his
a-
PS2
get a
though,
new
right?
Ouya. Just get a new Ouya. He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, come on, they're not so bad.
I actually have one. I haven't turned it
wow.
on
You
since
have
like
one
the first.
collecting
Throwing
dust.
stones in glass
Yeah.
houses there, Vertigo.
Hey, I can speak from experience. I don't think I've touched it since like 2 weeks after it finally came in, but
That's more than most.
yeah.
Aren't all of
I
its
don't know.
exclusives
I
now
don't
on
get all
everything
the
else?
hate they have for Ouya though.
I think it's more of a Like, I
bandwagon,
don't have anything against it, but like,
the controller's a bit
it's not
iffy.
come well.
You have to, for example, when it comes from a development point of view, the Ouya developers are actually much more open to indies than most of, like Sony or Microsoft. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It's good. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't play that many games on it. One of these days, I should dust it off and see what they've got now. Because I haven't turned it on in like a year. So.
If
Yeah,
Broken
actually, I
Age is
actually
shot.
started to pay attention to the Ouya when some of my favorite indies started to develop for them. And I was like, oh, damn it. I'm probably going to have to get one too, because they do lend a lot of exclusives, so...
Do they? I haven't
Ouya
seen many
does,
actual
yeah.
like exclusives. Like what? Anything
For
I'd be
example,
interested
well,
in?
right now,
Or
I've
good?
got, there is, I don't know if you guys heard of Team 2-Bit. It's indie studios, the indie studio that developed Fist Puncher, one of my favorite games of this year. I
Fist
know they have
Puncher.
a new game.
Oh, Fist
Yeah, it's
Puncher.
a
I
brawler.
actually didn't. I didn't
You
enjoy
have
that
to
that
play
much.
that game.
I
It's
did.
really good.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh,
I ended up getting
Oh,
hand
wow.
cramps
How
because I
dare you
just
say
mashed the
that?
attack button too much.
What a jerk! Just throw that out there. It's fine.
God, Raven.
no, but seriously, they do have a new game, which I actually had not heard anything of. And they were tuning to me the other day, and they were talking about it. And basically seems to be an OE exclusive. They're working on the PC game for the PC version for probably late next year, something like that. So I'm going to have to wait, which kind of sucks.
That's interesting.
But I'll wait. And there's a lot of other indie studios. What's the name of the developers of Nightmare Tower as well? They've got a bunch of. I think they've got a new game that came out this year, which is also an Ouya exclusive.
Well, it'd be good for the
I've
Ouya
been
to
dying
succeed.
to get that game on PC, but
Yeah, I'd be fine with the Ouya succeeding. It's just that right now I don't see it succeeding because it looks poop.
honesty hurts.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a good option for indies, actually. I do
Yeah.
hope that, I know that Ouya is not doing very well, but I do certainly hope that they do in the future. They do support a lot of creative talent like that.
Is the Ouya even available in Australia?
You're asking. Sorry.
Australia.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's just that Sai
Who
seems
you
to be the
asking?
only one that knows anything
you
about the
asking?
Ouya since I didn't even realize
Well,
it
but
was
it's
still
just
getting
not in the
exclusives.
news.
Australia.
It's not something that is being on the news a lot. Actually, that's one of the things that Ouya should probably pick up their game with. Is that they seem to go under the radar for a lot of different releases, and they do have a lot of interesting games, so to say. But mostly indie. I mean, Ouya is just an option for indies.
And emulation, I believe. Like play Final Fantasy VI on the Ouya.
Really?
That's what I hear anyway.
I thought that
Played
was
it.
the main thing that it was being sold on, was the idea that you could emulate loads of old games on it.
Yeah.
Well, with so many new games, why would you play that? And I love Final Fantasy though, but
Well, you're gonna
Vertigo.
love 2 news items from now.
Vertigo.
Yes.
Have you played Fist Puncher?
No, I heard of it. I have not played it yet.
Oh yeah. There's this one scene in it that you'd absolutely love. It's the one where they take the piss out of Anita Sarkeesian's damsels in distress thing. They're like, a damsel in distress. I bet you like. Oh, what is the saying? It's like something like, "Wow, another damsel in distress. Really original shit, Lord." Something like that.
Oh, ha.
It's from the very start.
I think I saw, I seem to recall seeing like Northern Lion or something do a video on that a while back. It's just one of those games that I haven't got around to yet. I need to start playing more indie stuff again because I've been mostly playing a lot of the bigger, newer stuff. I've been wanting to play like Styx, play it through, stuff like that. I guess it's still technically indie. I don't know. I don't even know what the definition of indie
Isn't
is.
it? Well, assuming it's just self-published, isn't
It's no. It's published
Spider
and developed by.
Yeah.
Well, it's published by Focus, developed by Spider. It's it's just a mid-sized game.
Yeah, mid-tier. That's right.
Yeah. Or as
Single.
fucking what's their name? Ninja Theory
A&R.
would call it. Indie AAA. I hate that term.
Yeah.
AAA, what the?
I mean, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because look at like Telltale's. People, I bet if you said Telltale, people would think, oh, that's indie. But they have tons of money, and like you say,
Yeah.
I don't know how much staff they have, But
Yeah, they're
it's
marketed as an indie thing, but I don't think they're indie anymore.
Would you say the same about like Mojang or?
Mojang.
Well, they're
I
owned by
think-
Microsoft.
well, that's true. They are now owned by Microsoft.
Yeah,
and
so
so
even
don't even come
Microsoft's
close.
like the least
Prior
indie you
to
can
being
get.
bought out by like the omnipresent evil of death to indies that is Microsoft. Would it be considered indie, even though it had so much crazy commercial success with Minecraft?
I'd say so, considering indies, even though it's sort of becoming like a genre, which is weird. It's like music in that way, I guess.
Yeah, music has gone that way as well.
Um,
You sure don't get that with books.
what?
I said you sure don't get that with literature or books.
Oh, yeah. Because isn't like the majority of it like self-published?
Not that I was aware of, but okay, maybe you do get it with books.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I consider Minecraft prior to the Microsoft buyout indie. Post Microsoft buyout, not so much.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't think there's like an exact amount of cash you can receive, and then you suddenly not become indie anymore. It's more of like how you publish your title and such.
Alright.
Yakuza 5 is coming to the West. Yakuza 4 and Dead Souls will be available on PSN.
I'd be so excited about that if I'd ever played a Yakuza game.
You should start with Yakuza 5. Just buy it anyway.
Yeah, I've heard good things. Like, what type of are they like GTA type stuff? Like, what type?
No,
of
it's an
game are they?
RPG.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. It's an
Okay,
RPG
they
where
like
you just
Yakuza,
beat people
I was
up.
picturing more like action and murder.
Well,
There is action and
it's-
murder.
It's a mix, really. I mean, there's a lot of cutscenes in it. It's got like sort of like this open world GTA type thing going on. I don't think you can, from my experience, you can't like drive vehicles, but you know you can go around like, the city wherever it's set, and it's got a lot of like hand-to-hand combat sections and stuff like that.
Yeah, and whenever you start a battle, it does like the Final Fantasy, and then it's like diddly-diddly-doo, and then just fight each other with like cars and bikes and stuff.
Effects.
Top class.
That was
I am
pretty
a-
fancy.
We take this podcast quality very seriously.
What was that? Sorry, I was texting. Legitimately was as well. Did we finish the topic?
Yeah, Yakuza 5 looks good.
Okay, Target and Kmart and Kmart.
Kmart.
May not be, but for all we know, Kmart is still stocking it. But Kmart is no longer stocking GTA 5.
In Australia.
Yeah,
In Australia, in
Target
Australia.
is a store
Sorry,
in
I
the
wrote
US,
that. I just kind of.
and so is Kmart, in fact. That's weird that Australia has American stores, but it's
entirely
one of the
unrelated.
colonies. Yeah.
Well, my understanding too, isn't Kmart and Target owned by the same like mega core?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow. That
So not a
competition, though.
coincidence that they both stopped doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think it's ridiculous. I mean, obviously they're free to do whatever they want. I don't think they should be forced to carry or anything ridiculous like that. But I think it's dumb to do it, especially because other stores can still carry it, so people can still, get to it. It's just going to push people away from those stores for, video games. And it raises the question: is like, okay, well, are you going to start doing this for all of your games?
And they said no.
Analyzing them and saying, okay, well, you're rated for adults, but you do this thing we don't like, so we're not going to carry your game. Like, why pick GTA 5 and pick it for those specific reasons and say no, we're not carrying that anymore?
It's really just because of the petition. They were like, stop stocking it, and they were like, shut up, okay, we won't. And then they thought that would shut them up, but now it's got everyone else talking about
precedent, it. So it's a bad idea. Well, that's because the only people who were bothered about it were the people who were signing the petition, and generally there was a sort of either apathy or a support for it being stocked, and obviously that number's beyond count. It's not something that's quantifiable by petition, so they kind of just miscalculated on that front.
I feel like the amount of people who would want it to be stocked are probably around 32 million, aka the amount of people who bought it.
Yeah. And I generally supported the developer in that. I kind of felt slightly aggrieved that that they're clearly going to use that kind of commercial success as like an excuse for being like that really lame, lazy, 3 edgy, 5 me style of writing in it that is like kind of sucks. Well, no, it sucks a lot. It's just really. I agree with what. Is it zero punctuation? I'm not sure. Said about it, which is that as opposed to Saints Row, which is a clever game trying to pretend to be dumb, it's a dumb game that's trying to pretend to be clever.
Yeah. See, it's funny though, because like they don't even complain about the 3 AG 5 me sections of the game. It's just the running over prostitutes, having sex with prostitutes, getting your health, and then killing them, which you've been able to do since like GTA 3.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they don't pick something more topical.
Like at all, you can kill any character in the game.
Yeah, like there's a torture scene. There's like a scene where like a previous character previous character of GTA which you played as gets brutally murdered. There's a male rape scene. There's all these other horrible things, and it's like you pick that one. You could have done that back in Vice City or San Andreas, or like why not something actually more like bad?
Yeah. I mean, there's a load of reasons why it's like a fairly tasteless, poorly written game, but there's still no particular reason why, people can't make up their own minds as to whether or not to play it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's rated R18+, and in Australia, that's government forced. If you want your game to be on store shelves, it has to be rated here. So it's been rated, and the government is like, yes, this is fine to be sold. And, like, our government, the one that bans fucking everything, said it was okay. Like, even with an R18+ rating, they censored South Park. And they say that GTA 5 is fine. So, I think, like, people getting all in a tizzy about this, like, the sexual violence about that, is just, no.
Yeah, I just think it's just ridiculous. Anytime you're trying to take away you're trying to censor like that, which again, it's not government censorship, it's just the store deciding, this is too far.
I don't see why the store needs to bother when there's so much government censorship in Australia.
Yeah. No kidding. It seems like Australia does a pretty good job of overly censoring itself as it is.
Yeah. But I do hope this doesn't become like standard. When people see something they don't like, they can just start a petition on change.org and the stores will remove it, because that's going to get rid of like a lot of stuff that could probably advance us as like a society. I mean, that sounds like the store's
eventually gonna like come to a point where it's like, well, we could listen to what they say again, or we could make more money by not listening to what they say.
That's true, because I mean, GTA 5 is a slightly successful game. I don't know if you guys knew that.
And Target and K-mart do have something of a duopoly as well.
Not here, they don't.
They're not?
No.
Oh, in the US, like, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you 3 places to go to a Kmart. Like, Kmart is like, it used to be Kmart and Walmart were like head to head, and like you'd see them all over the place. But like Kmart has pretty much, like, it's rare. Like when I see a Kmart, I'm like, holy cow, it's a Kmart. Like I haven't seen one of those in forever.
Everyone get over here.
Look, I'm taking pictures of myself with it and stuff. Taking selfies
shaking
with
hands
Kmart.
with all the people in the shop.
Yeah. I feel like it's with the South Park game where like the government is like, oh, this is a new Taco Bell we're building, when it's like a military base. I feel like that's the same thing. The government's got some kind of base there. It's like, no, this is a Kmart, guys. Yeah, you can buy stuff here. It's all like Walmart. Remember us? Target is pretty widespread, and I actually like Target for the most part. I don't even bother going into the reasons why, but I think it's a good store. But they're still very popular here in the States.
I'd say Target over here is pretty shit. Like their Wii games are still like $80 and $90, and it's fuck that.
Well, games in your country
I was gonna say,
just crazy expensive.
Isn't that typical for Australia?
Yeah, but like if Target has never been like the go-to place for getting games. I mean, they actually did have some really nice deals on GTA 5 though, which is funny. Like you could get the new, the next gen version for like $60 or something like that, which is quite a good saving for Australians.
I should clarify for any viewers that the conversion rate to Australian dollars is about $1 Australian for every 4 buttons. I believe that is the conversion rate.
Yes. Australia's exchange rate isn't exactly the best.
And if you want to read a good takedown, like, oh god,
Such a
Polygon
lame thing
had
to
that.
pick on as well.
Polygon had that god awful article about.
Oh, not that article. There were so many leaps in logic in that article. I felt like when I started reading it, and then when I ended reading it, I was in like a different continent.
Yeah. Well, you could be, but no, like you can skip the terrible article, and I'm not actually normally a fan of him, but NerdCube did a good like basically takedown of that article with on his, I guess, his Tumblr, but I don't know where it is. But somebody could link it if they care to. But yeah, he did a good takedown of the article, like pointing out why it was ridiculous, the kind of analogies he was making. It's like, well, you can kill homeless people too. Like, shouldn't we ban that too? Because homeless people are pretty downtrodden, I'd say. But of course, no mention of that. It's just ridiculous. That's probably it. But yeah, it's just overall, long and short. Again, I don't argue their legal rights to not carry the game. I don't think they should be forced to carry it. I just think it's stupid that they took it out, and I think
especially after so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. Oh, sorry.
No, never mind.
No, I jumped the gun.
All right.
But it's been said now, so I can't unsay it.
The NerdCube Tumblr link is there. That's all. That's all.
You can find that and all relevant links in our Google Doc. You can almost not watch the podcast at all and just look at the links, but why would you want to do that?
The 3 people who watch this will drop down to 2 or 1.
Final Fantasy VII is coming to PS4.
HD remake is not gonna happen.
Oh my god. I was literally when they came on stage, I actually thought they would do it. I was like grabbing my chest. I was like, oh my god. Like, me and my brother were watching it on the telly, and we were like, oh my god, they're gonna do it. They're doing it. What? Why? They're not doing it.
It's incredible.
Like, they're just so disconnected. Like, I was expecting them to say, let's check out some of the gameplay, and then it's just like 10 minutes of the troll guy singing. Like, they just, I don't know if they don't. Do they
Never gonna give you up by Rick Astley.
Do they just not get it, or do they just not care? I think they just don't get it.
It's kind of
they really think people are like, yes, the PC upscaled version I can play on my PS4 now. This is what we've wanted.
I've always wanted PS1 graphics at 1080p.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's getting a solid 30 FPS though, so that's something.
No, but see, like, the PC version doesn't hit 30 FPS. It goes into 15 FPS, like, during battles and all that. So it's not even that.
Well, it's pretty graphically intense.
It is. That's
you
true.
see how many polygons are in his hair alone? It's ridiculous.
I think about like 6
5
entire polygons.
Oh, 6.
It's kind of gonna be like a mental conditioning thing to have someone stood in front of the Square Enix logo disappointing you.
I'm suddenly overwhelmed with sadness whenever I see this executive Japanese man stand in front of the logo. I don't know why that is.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm not even into the whole Final Fantasy thing. Like, the last one I actually finished was like US 3 or whatever that was on Super Nintendo.
Thanks.
So like, I don't really have a dog in this race. But I will say that, man, they are just total jerks / completely disconnected. Or 2, like I feel bad for the people who really wanted this HD remake, but at the same time, it was pretty amusing to watch the reactions go from people like cheering and crazy to what?
That's basically what I was like when they showed off the gameplay and they're like, let's take a look, and I'm like, oh my god, they're showing off the PS1 version, and then it's gonna go to the PS4 version. It's gonna go to the PS4 version. It's going to the PS.
Any second.
Any second it's gonna switch over.
Where's
It's gonna
it
be a
going?
side-by-side comparison. It's hold on, it's coming. He's drawing it out. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's what they do now. No, he's walking off the stage. Something weird. Wait, hold on. You mixed up the footage.
Please come back. It's ridiculous. This is though. I mean, the thing is though, people have been begging for years for this, and
since the PS3.
I remember. Yeah, it's like I just finished work when they announced this and stuff, and I was walking home and like Raven, I think you like tweeted me like a picture of it or something.
No, I
And
said
was
Final
like,
Fantasy VII coming to PS4.
Oh my god, I was literally like, oh my god, could this be true? And then I check a couple more tweets and I'm like, oh god, it's just a PC port. And I actually broke down laughing and crying at the same time. But the thing is, every good thing Square Enix does, they do something utterly crap at the same time as well to counteract
At least.
it. But the thing is,
Yeah, like
they know
like
people
Square
will
Enix,
still buy it.
like they made
People are
Final
still gonna buy
Fantasy
it.
14
I
A
will
Realm
buy it.
Reborn, but then again they made Final Fantasy 14. Like,
Yeah. They do redeem themselves, occasionally with stuff like was it Bravely Default and
yeah.
A Realm Reborn is like compared to the original release of it, but
I actually really like the Tomb Raider game. I don't.
Well,
Some
that's
people
isn't that
complain
more
about
Eidos?
I didn't especially like
Yeah.
it, but I think
Was
it
it
might
more?
have been.
Was it? Eidos?
I think
think
Square
that's
Enix
more
just
Eidos.
published it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
But still, it's like, please just give us the game. Just give us the HD game.
Sorry, were you following this announcement? You said you quite like the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah, I do.
you can tell
Just that-
from
well,
the
I-
disappointment in her voice.
Yes, I kind of agree with everything that is being said. I'm actually kind of like it's underwhelming a little bit.
Square Enix, stop breaking my heart.
Like, so I just don't understand why they are so. There's obviously a big demand for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
not
they
like they
just-
haven't remade Final Fantasy games before. They've remade
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that's it. Maybe more. Yeah, but they've 6 as well, 5. They've remade them multiple times on multiple consoles. But why not just give it the one which is going to make them so much money?
The one that
Mo-
people have asked for more
Yeah.
than any of the others combined.
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
Like I don't. Like it's mind blowing. Like are they just these messages like just get cut off? There's like some like vindictive secretary who is like Final Fantasy IX was the best one and like throws away all these messages and news reports of people who really want 7. So they're like, any new messages? No, sir. Anybody talked about 7? No, people kind of forgot about that one, sir. Oh, okay.
I think they said that they're not going to be remaking Final Fantasy VII until they surpass it in sales with another Final Fantasy game, because Final Fantasy VII is still the most successful Final Fantasy game, and
It is.
yeah, so
Wait, no, I'm not seeing the logic. So
So
we're
until
not going to
they're
do
not-
an HD re-release of our most popular game until we make a more popular game.
yeah, you
which
got
they
it.
have definitely not been
Are they going to
doing
make the
with
HD
third
re-release
one.
using the engine of the more popular game? Is that the idea, or?
I don't follow Square Enix, but that's what I've heard.
Or maybe they're just banking on none of the other Final Fantasy games being as popular.
Or maybe they're
Well, the
hoping
thing is
that everyone
you
who
know,
wants
they're probably
a
giving them way
remake.
too much credit in this because they probably just don't know what the hell to do with the franchise and they just want more money out of it, and this is why they're porting it out. So really,
Yeah.
there's not much to be said about it.
Yeah. It's
Well, Final
basically-
Fantasy
yeah.
VII has had like how many sequels or spin-offs or whatever?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, there's been the compilation series, which has included Japan-only mobile game. It's included PSP game, PS, like a shooter spin-off. It's included, a full like CGI movie as well, and anime to it as well. And they just won't remake it.
They could have an entire Final Fantasy VII franchise. Give me Final Fantasy VII 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then think about something else.
Hmm.
And 11 too, yeah.
Only when they make the finalist Final Fantasy will they make a HD remake of 7.
Oh, goodness.
And after that, yeah, terrible joke. Drawn to Death announcement. That's.
Oh, I
that's
love
what
this.
sends.
I love this because I never had the idea of putting gasoline into a dragon's mouth and using that as like fire. Like that blew my mind. I was like, that's so fucking creative. I never thought of that.
We
That's
should probably
so
give
cool.
it some more context in that it's a game that's basically like a.
It's Anarchy Reigns.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Anarchy Reigns. It's kind of like I find it weird that you play as one of the bandits from Borderlands, but but basically
Visually.
it's a game where visually it's like a sketch style.
It looks
Everything
like,
looks like it's been sketched.
What's the game? Mad World? No,
Yeah.
not Mad World.
No.
Is it Mad? Yeah, Mad World.
Mad
yeah.
World, yeah.
Which is
Mad
the
World.
the game before Anarchy Reigns. But gameplay-wise, it looks a hell of a lot like it as well.
So what is it, like a multiplayer game then?
Yeah, it's a 4-player multiplayer game.
Ah, okay.
Is it deathmatch or like?
I believe so.
Well, it has
Wave,
deathmatch.
like- Or is it
Uh,
like co-op, like wave-based?
I think it's just deathmatch. I could.
Okay.
It's still in pre-alpha though, so deathmatch might not be the only game mode.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it's,
We'll play free-for-all
it's fairly
deathmatch.
interesting looking.
If it's
I'd
only
like it if it was on PC.
deathmatch though.
Yeah.
Well, just wait like 3 years.
Yeah.
So, who wants to bet that David Jaffe, after he finishes this game, is going to leave the studio, just like he has done all previous times? Because
Well,
there was God
everyone
of War
knows
1, then he left Sony Santa Monica, then he made his own new studio to make Twisted Metal, and then after making that studio, he left that studio to make Drawn to Death. So far, it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Maybe he just never could get the name right for the studios, so... oh my goodness, that God Hand thing seems a little bit OP, but we'll, that's a minute detail.
It's a kill streak.
Okay, so that's an interesting looking new IP. And yeah, we'll have to wait some time to see where it goes, but something to ponder on. And also look at the trailer for No Man's Sky again, which follows immediately afterwards. Just to remind yourself of how hyped you were initially. Oh, someone's determined to remove this point, but Suikoden I and II coming to PS. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming to PS Vita and PS3.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
Mad
like that.
Dragon, you've got like 3 more games to play now.
You can finally play Suikoden. Is that
Yeah.
right? It's the game of the tiles, right?
Yeah.
How do you
Okay,
pronounce
I
this
said
game's
that.
name? Is it Suikoden?
Suikoden.
Suikoden?
Okay.
Pokemon?
Suikoden.
Okay.
Pokemon.
Mad Dragon's got it down. Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Okay.
wait for this though. I mean, it's gonna be good.
Wait, no, you can't. There's nothing else for the Vita in the meantime. Besides those other two, of course. Sorry, just the easy jokes. They come to mind so easily. Can't stop kicking that puppy. Is this a... What is this next story, Raven? Because I clicked on the link, and
Yeah, I have no idea
basically
what
the
that
story
is.
here seems to be lady with Japanese-sounding name isn't entirely ethnically Japanese. Is
No,
that
no,
the
no, no,
extent of
no.
it?
She's not Japanese.
It's
That-
the dude.
Yeah. The person who, has the Japanese
Oh, I just assumed
everything.
you meant... Wait, what? Right.
Yeah,
What's-
that's some other lady who looks a hell of a lot like Julia Gillard,
Yeah.
Australia's former PM.
Yeah.
And that's God damn it, Japanese names. Keita Takahashi.
Yeah.
And he's just so weird because he comes up on
He's
stage
holding
with a
fork in his
fork
hand right now. Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
just
yeah. I like
cleaning
that
it.
Trapper Keeper she's wearing as a jacket too. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you would.
Nobody's gonna get that joke but me. All right,
I don't get
that's
it.
Fine.
So for this point, you really got to watch the video
Yeah.
that's been linked with it. 'Cause
So, wait, okay. So the fact that he is Japanese isn't in question, is it? Because
No. He says.
I don't see why he'd lie.
Okay, so
Yeah.
she introduces him and he goes, "Hi, I'm Japanese, I guess."
He was probably just nervous about the
Yeah,
interview.
he's hit a
speech.
fork. He's obviously needs.
Yeah,
He's
but like,
holding a phone.
This isn't his A game.
Yeah,
right
I was
here.
about to ask that. Why is he holding a fork?
he never
Is that ever
explains
explained?
it.
I don't think so.
Maybe he's just a catering guy having to pretend to be Keita Takahashi because they couldn't
Oh,
get hold of the
that's
real
me.
guy.
Well, he's just wearing like
he's
a
so
t-shirt and a
nervous.
ball cap.
Yeah.
And what's cool is later on he's just spinning around where am I? I feel so sorry for whatever
Yeah,
her
he's just
name is.
obviously very uncomfortable with public speaking by the looks.
She's taking it
sometimes
so
it's not so
professionally.
great to pull the developers up to speak for your games.
Oh, there he goes. He's spinning round.
Oh, maybe it's because he knew he was introducing the Order 1886.
No, he's introducing his own game.
Oh, did I skip too far ahead? I did.
Yeah, it's Wattam or something like that. Wattam.
Oh, a game about hats, or at least.
I have no idea what it's about. This guy has a bomb under his hat, and then he goes outside and explodes. Hey, what?
I mean, it's very relatable because I too have trouble choosing which bowler hat to wear before leaving the house. But
It's
British
just a
people.
cube wearing a hat.
oh my goodness, that door is entirely too thick. Okay, well, I have no idea what that game might be about.
No one does. I don't even think they do.
Okay. We're just
I
gonna
don't
see
quite
what
get the point.
they were
of
just
showing
like
stuff
they
like
were
this.
gonna wait for the audience to guess what it was about, and they were like, "Hey, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, it could be about that then."
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
by the
I don't-
guy who made Katamari Damacy, so it'll probably be great.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
gonna
oh,
be
yeah,
off the
probably.
walls crazy. I tried playing that game for a couple minutes, and I actually had to stop because I had no idea what was going on.
Have you tried playing Nobi Nobi Boy?
No, boy, that sounds familiar, but I don't think I played it.
You're like a little dude, and then you get bigger, and then after a while, you're like just consuming planets or like walking around them, or like it's weird. It was a PSN game. Shall we move
Witcher
on?
3 delayed until May the 19th.
Tragedy. True.
Why does everything I love get delayed?
I'm super shocked. Oh no, wait.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, it's disappointing whenever a game that you're totally hyped for gets delayed. But
Arkham Knight,
it's much.
I
I'd
wanna
much rather
play
them
you.
get
Yeah,
delayed
like
than
it's
anything
almost
else.
always for a good reason, isn't it?
Right. So I'd much rather that happen than them turn out. It's like, oh no, it's broken, or these bugs, and oh this quest line never got finished. I'd much rather them just push it back. And two, I've got so much backlog right now.
That's
It's
true.
insane that I could, and no new games could come out for 2 years, and I could still have stuff to play.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't really. It
Wow.
doesn't bother me that much. Like,
I'm
like,
exactly
half
the
my Steam
same.
library is unplayed, like literally.
Yeah.
Which one are
They
you
have-
looking forward the most to play then? If
Witcher
you've got
3.
so many.
Oh, like
out
the
of your
backlog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, I don't know if this is technically backlog because I haven't bought it yet. But probably either
No,
Or
technically no. Technically it isn't, just
it's
to clear
my
that up.
future backlog.
Hmm.
But it's
So your front log. Oh,
I
that
have so
sounds
many
terrible.
games that there could be no new games for 2 years, and I would still have games. Which game out of your backlog are you most looking forward to? Oh, one I haven't bought yet.
yeah. See, this is the problem. This is why I
That's
have a
the
ridiculous
problem.
backlog because I'm like, this new game came out, so I need to let's play that. But I actually looking forward to playing. Actually, now that I think about it, my backlog probably the Serious Sam games. Like I like
Really?
the old school.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I like the old
Wow.
school shooters.
Don't play 3
Yeah, don't play 3.
unless
I'll
Three's
definitely let you
terrible.
play through.
unless you really have a fixation upon the color beige. and,
I
like,
really recommend you play Serious Sam,
Well,
the
I
second
think also-
encounter.
Human
If
Revolution.
the main thing you really hated about the Serious Sam games was like the fun weapons, then actually Serious Sam 3 would be good for you because it barely has those in it. So
Yeah, the third one is the best.
The best.
See,
Yeah, I
she
like
says
it
it's the best. See, I'm
You're
gonna have to play
crazy.
them all now. See, I have to make my own judgment. But
Like-
yeah, actually those because
You have
I'm
to
actually
buy
wanting
and
to
play.
replay
finished it.
all the Duke Nukem games because I for my 24-hour stream I played like a little bit of Duke Nukem, like the HD remaster, whatever you call it. And I was like, I forgot how fun these games were. Just like the fast action and like there's no regenerating health, so you have to really be careful and scrounge around for
It
secrets.
took me a
I
while to
love
realize
that.
you're not talking about the platform on Duke Nukem.
Oh wow, that's how could you like? I mean, I realize it exists, but man, like nobody plays that. It's all about the 3D.
No, like
first-person
you going
shooter.
like fast paced. I was like, I would not describe that wannabe Commander Keen as fast paced.
But yeah, no, the definitely the first person shooter. I want to play through. Like I have the HD collection, so I want to play through like all of those. That would be pretty awesome. But actually, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty high on the back list. Sticks, I really wanted to play that. Walking Dead season 2, I still haven't got around to that.
Yeah,
Oh
me
my
neither.
Amongst Us,
goodness.
Banner
I really
Saga.
don't want to end up playing like the end of the Walking Dead season on Christmas Eve because that's what I did with season 1 last year and it didn't set the mood.
Have a jolly Christmas. Everyone's dead. Everything will die. You are doomed
See you next
forever.
year. Maybe.
Just make sure
But
you
yeah,
finish it
Witcher
before
3, I'm
season 3
totally
comes
hyped
out
for that
next
game.
year.
Like I have no doubt it's going to be great because Witcher 2 is great. Witcher 1 sucked. but I feel like they learned their lessons from the first one, and Witcher 2 was awesome.
Yeah.
So I think Witcher 3 is going to be amazing, and it looks really good too. So I'm hopefully going to have a second video card by then, have like a SLI setup and just run that thing at max settings.
Yeah. Like, the scale they're going for in The Witcher 3 is insane. They said like it's going to be like 100 times the size of Skyrim or something like that. So, you know, they can delay it a bit.
That's preposterous.
Maybe 10
Yeah, I don't
times.
know.
I gotta
Witcher 2
check.
was
I'll
really
check.
Actually, not that big, like in terms of the world.
Right. Yeah, the world itself was not.
Oh, well,
huge.
20% bigger. There you go.
Yeah, 100 times. 20%. That's pretty
Times
close.
Bigger. That's so big. Yeah.
All right, so
that could possibly be
apparently someone was playing Chain Whispers with me when they told me that. It's going to be 20% bigger.
Was it the Daily Mail
50.
article on the same story? They said it was 100 times bigger.
Daily Mail.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's like The Onion, but serious.
Yeah, actually, now you mentioned about the whole backlog stuff, I agree, like, being delayed would be good, because I still got to play through Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, actually, first I got to play through Dragon Age Origins. I'm just now finishing Mass Effect 1. So,
Okay.
backlogs.
Yeah, I don't want to get hung up too much on the games we haven't played, given that we chose to, for the sake of time, omit the games that we have played, and the former far outnumber the latter. So on to our main story then, really. Telltale's Game of Thrones features House Forrester, who have been given the same sigil as House Stonetree. 0 out of 10, worst game ever. Discuss.
Well, I
I'd say maybe
think
2
they
out
should
of
just
10 for that
commit
major fluff.
Sudoku, really.
Yeah. That's a possibility. This was just something that I knew from playing the Game of Thrones mod on Crusader Kings 2, that they have the same sigil pretty much as House Stonetree, which is a tree on a dark background, which is pretty unoriginal. But yeah, I'm glad that I haven't played it, Vertigo has, but I'm glad that they got the actual voice actors in for the television show roles. Vertigo,
they did?
guess,
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
That would
I
have
was
been
genuinely
weird.
impressed.
Like the same act, like it showed their faces
Yeah.
and stuff the same, but then different voices would have
Well,
been
they
really
did that
weird.
in the Game of Thrones RPG. Like they had like a couple of voice actors, I think, for the actual characters, but then they had a few more characters that were actually in the show, and they didn't have the right. Like they had Cersei in it, and it didn't have the right voice acting. So yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm glad that they changed.
it was weird when in Telltale's Back to the Future they had Marty McFly, but it was voiced by a sound-alike of Marty McFly. That was weird.
That.
So
Well, he
it's
was
good
pretty
that they
close,
mentioned it.
wasn't he? I
Pardon?
didn't play that, but wasn't he pretty close?
He was pretty close, yeah. But when they actually did have the actual Marty McFly have a cameo in it, you can tell, like, oh yeah, he's not even close. Like it in your head, like he's close. I don't know. It's like,
Well, wasn't he
he's
going?
fine.
Like, weren't they going to try to get him, but because of medical reasons, he ended up couldn't do it. I
Oh,
thought.
was it? I didn't
That
know
was my
that.
understanding. I mean, I might not be right, but I thought they were going to get, and I totally forget his name now.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get him to do it, but then like he couldn't do like extended sessions of voice. I mean, again, I might not be correct, but I thought I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Well, if that's the case, that's fine then.
Well, yeah.
Because they did also get
you forget.
Doc. I forget who's the actor who plays Doc.
What's
He
his
also
name?
voices
Lloyd
Hacker.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Hold on, guys.
We got it. We're good. We're in.
Mhm.
We got this.
So, has Peter Dinklage featured in the game yet?
Yes.
And did he
Okay.
phone it in like he did with Destiny? Or...
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, it was good. He did.
Oh,
I have
okay.
Okay, so this
I
might
suppose he
be
does actually like that character. So.
this might be like minus spoilers. So I don't know. So just tell me if it is. But like, is there any point where Peter Dinklage has to hack into a mainframe and you have to guard him from like hordes of enemies coming towards you for about 5 to 10 minutes and then do it again repeatedly?
I mean,
Has
that's
that
in the
happened?
show, but it's a Telltale game, so I'm guessing that you won't have to do
It's
that.
better I don't say specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want
So
to.
that-
I want to let it be fresh for everyone, so I won't comment
Yeah,
on that.
that's true. So that brings us to the close of our podcast, really. So at this point, we do a shout out to projects you're working on or want people to know about. Thanks, Google Doc. So we're going to do it in the same order that we introduced ourselves. So Vertigo, you go first.
Let's see. Mostly big things I guess I'm working on right now is the Heroes of the Storm videos I'm doing on various heroes, covering dailies, things like that. You can find my channel at youtube.com/Vertigo Tea Party, and you can find me on Twitter as I think I just changed mine recently. I think it's Malachi VT, or no, I think I changed it to just Vertigo Tea Party because that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mad Dragon, we'll
Wait.
get back to Sai. No, because I said the same way we introduced ourselves, so Sai will be the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. I can count. Mad Dragon.
What have I got going on? Nothing. Really, nothing at all.
Oh, okay.
At the
Mad
moment.
Dragon's got nothing at all.
So probably either just to my channel, just have a look.
You can
there,
shout
or
someone else out.
do like VGL channel. When we do
that's
stuff.
a good idea.
If
The small point of that is that people watching this will be on the channel, but
just to remind them that we do other videos,
yeah,
just to remind them to actually watch some of the stuff.
yeah, we do other videos, guys. God, you don't have to lavish all your views on the podcast. Spread the love. Okay. I think I've interrupted Mad Dragon enough. Raven.
Yeah.
I would like to give a shout out to certain someone's Forest Let's Play, and that certain someone being Sharky and the Bear, which I really enjoy. I think it's really funny and incredibly glitchy. Wow, it definitely shows the fact that it's early access. So I give a shout out to that.
I loved it for that reason because I kind of cracked up with that. But
so many T poses, so many naked women just T posing around.
There's like more as it goes on as well. It's quite fun. This is kind of awkward because I was going to recommend that as well.
Sorry.
So now I'm going to recommend that people who've read the books educate themselves and get down to the Game of Thrones wiki. Oh, God. Anyway, like Telltale, God. Sai, thank you for being our guest.
Yes, thank you, Sai.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's a lot of fun.
I agree. It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's also been very informative. I learned that the Ouya still exists.
Oh, wow. Ouch. So, what projects are you working on that you would like people to know about?
Well, right now, there's only one project that I'm actually following up right now. Its name is called Poncho. It's a 3-man studio. They're actually working. They did a Kickstarter recently. Unfortunately, it failed. But in happier news, they actually found a publisher and they're moving forward with the project. It's this 2D scroller kind of game, all pixely like. It's a beautiful game. I'll give you the link later.
Yeah, you give us the links. We'll put it on the video and the Google Doc.
What's it called again?
Other than that, play Fist Puncher.
We'll get the play Fist Puncher.
The name of the game is called Poncho.
Poncho.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Poncho game. All right, that's going to be hard to find.
Yeah, really?
I'm trying to Google it.
I don't know.
I got
I've
secret
never played
ponchos.
Poncho before.
You will have a lot of Poncho stuff in there. That's not right.
Mm.
But don't worry, I'll share the link.
Yeah. Cool. Well, in that case, all that remains is thank you to audience for listening.
Thank you, audience, for listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
thank you,
didn't read that for you. Be around, guys.
And gals, don't be sexist.
And gals.
God damn it,
Well,
IceBear.
I was usually on our channel. I call our viewers chumps, just affectionately. So I was searching for a different word because it's not entirely my audience to alienate here. So, so guys and gals.
All right, I think we should end the podcast now. See you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you, chumps.